first for us having a duo presentation, but doesn't matter. Our new interim dean, or not interim, our associate dean, our official permanent associate dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts, Dr. Pfeiler-Wunder, and Dr. Roseanee Perkins, who is Travis. I want to fix that, sorry. Roseanee Perkins, who teaches library science. So, they're going to talk to you about her.
I'm not Target Run. Target Run. Why a Target Run? I love Target.
We like Target.
I'm busy.
I'm very busy.
We need stuff. Our kids need stuff. Let's go to the dogs. Let's go to Target. We can get a beverage. It'll be social. We can talk about family stuff. We can talk about work stuff. We can look at things that we might need. Like maybe we need this, or maybe we just want this sugar cookie kit about your favorite day at Target. There are so many things we can choose. Why do we choose the things we choose? Do we choose them because they're aesthetically pleasing? I mean, I like a well-organized display. Who doesn't? Why do we like these displays? I mean, I was an art teacher. I liked organization, but there was also a bit of chaos. My dad also worked at a grocery store. He was a farmer. There's chaos on a farm, but you also need things in an order. And he worked at my uncle's general store, and you had to have order. There were 4 stores in one. It was a general store, it was a feed store, it was the post office, and I forgot one. Anyways,
Post office.
What in the post office? In the grocery store. Anyways, back to objects. You know that Target has over 300,000 objects? So we live in a world with a proliferation of objects. How do we organize these objects? How do we curate these? People actually study material culture. What is it about us that attracts us to these objects? And then there's the curation, or maybe not. So we started to notice at Target, oh, I'm not going fast enough. We started to notice that objects were randomly being placed, and we were curious if people were creating things for us to experience, or if maybe the objects like these bananas, notice they're like tissue boxes, are speaking to us. Maybe the bananas are already in a bundle. Why do they need a plastic bag? They came all the way from Costa Rica. That might be why they're by the tissues. Or is this the mom rushing to get the birthday gift before the birthday party? And then realizes they need Tums because it's so busy? So why do we curate and why do we classify?
So I'm a librarian. And one of the things that we really study is the importance of classification in terms of access, right? We have to be able to organize objects, books, media in order to be able to find it. So when we start seeing objects out of place, it makes librarians nervous. And we look at it, and no classification system is perfect, but what classification systems allow us to do is make connections, right? Make connections between ideas, make connections between objects. So the librarian in me starts to say, okay, what connection am I supposed to make? There's slippers and other slippers, and they're both not where they belong. Was it cold? Is the floor cold and we're thinking we need slippers? And then do these objects somehow communicate with each other by being misplaced? So then there's donuts in with the supplies, and you're wondering, okay, it's tidy. Is organization about being neat, tidy? But it's not. Organization is about being grouped together where there's a connection being made so we can find objects. So what connection's happening here? I don't know. Mr. Clean, great for pet hair. Somebody came along and put these objects together. Was it just random? Was there a connection in their mind? Is there a connection now in my mind? I don't know. And then, the joy of almonds, the joy of candy. Is it also supposed to relate to the joy of writing? The joy of keeping your thoughts in a journal? Or is it just because this is kind of far away from where the Target employees are and somebody just like dropped their Pilfer snack there? I start thinking about the objects and the stories that they can tell me, because librarians like stories too. Is mom really tired? She's thinking about bath. She's thinking about candles and baths. And as she's doing that, she's getting the things out of the cart that her kids put in over the last hour that she didn't really need. And maybe that's a dinosaur mask that her 3-year-old really wants. Or maybe this is the birthplace of a new character, a dinosaur that wears kites and a cube. You don't know. And sometimes these little serendipitous connections lead us to finding wonderful things that we just have to bring home with us. Because we see see them as we're checking out. We never would have seen it. Otherwise, they're sitting there waiting for us.
So it makes us think, why are objects placed the way they are? What are these tableaus of objects saying about human experience? What are the objects communicating themselves? Contemporary artists like Sarah Z actually looks at the ways in which we organize objects, and when they become too familiar, she moves them around. Like, there is a Starbucks cup by a knife. I'll let you decide what that might be about. In this juxtaposition of objects in this world where we are filled and surrounded by objects every day. And then I want you to just think about those carts, those abandoned shopping carts. This one is very far from Target. Very far. I took this last Saturday by the Whole Foods. If you've been to that park, it's very far. So think about what the cart might be saying and be a good human. Throw away the stuff.